Green Hill Zone. Probably one of the many iconic first levels in video game history. First seen back in 1991's Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Mega Drive as the catalyst for everything that defined the Sonic franchise visual identity for years to come. The checkerboard wall structures, colorful palette, the tropical palm tree aesthetic, and the crazy loop-de-loos, all of which has been synonymous with the franchise, with similar motifs and ideas being homaged even in later entries of the series. The level's impact on Sonic's history can be witnessed on the franchise's pop cultural status, as it has been featured in multiple parodies,
that stopped him.
Yeah, but man, a spike strip? I mean, couldn't we have tried a warning first?
animations,
Oh, shit!
comics, as well as several other subsidiaries or projects. It's essentially what the original World 1-1 is to the Super Mario Bros. Series, as a deeply rooted definition of what the franchise is known for. Over the course of the years, the zone has come into intense scrutiny by the fanbase for its overuse and needless incorporations in recent games, most likely as a marketing ploy to incite those nostalgic memories from the first game it was introduced. And while there is some truth to these claims, there's no denying the importance the zone has had in Sonic's career. But above all, its main theme is as much as an iconic staple to the zone as it is for the series. Composed by Japanese musician Masato Nakamura, the theme with its catchy and rather sentimental quality has been reused and remixed several times in the series with a vast range of genres and interpretations. And just like Mario Bros.'s overworld theme, it joins the ranks as the most well-known and memorable video game themes of all time. Therefore, I've decided to list some of the best and personal favorite remixes of Green Hill's theme to date, both from the official soundtracks as well as the many wonderful fan remixes from the community. I will, however, exclude several versions of Green Hill's music that aren't in any way derived from the original theme by Nakamura, as well as some songs that use very small or vague leitmotifs of the theme for entirely different purposes. So something like, say for example, Horse's Green Hill theme or Lego Sonic's version don't count. Lastly, this list is only my personal opinion on the quality of these remixes. So just sit back and enjoy as we get started. Number 10. Green Hill Zone, a cappella remix by Smooth McGroove. It's become like a rite of passage for every video game series to have at least one a cappella cover done by their games by Smooth McGroove. Case in point, his a cappella cover for Green Hill is certainly one to behold. Admittedly, it's one of the most amusing covers of this track on this list, being sung by Smooth's angelic voice. How often can you say that you've heard Green Hill sung in a marvelous chorus? The reason why it's rather low on this list is due to the fact that while his acapellas are always amusing to listen to, they don't add anything new to the track or reinterpret them in a unique way, as the purpose of these are just to create faithful covers of the original tracks, only using his singing voice. But hey, it works, as me and many of his subscribers eagerly await for his next acapella in his ever-expanding library. Number 9. Green Hill Zone from Sonic Adventure 2. Now this one seems to be a personal favorite for many, as there's a lot of nostalgia attached to this version of the theme. Not surprising, as the Sonic Adventure games, in particular Sonic Adventure 2, were the introduction to the series to many fans, so I can only imagine all those young people who had to slay away hours at S ranking every single stage to eventually unlock Green Hill. There must have been a lot of fond memories held in those early years running around a 3D version of Green Hill that took a lot of hard work to unlock, making many players feel triumphant at such a feat. But as someone who didn't grow up with the Sonic Adventure games, I don't have any nostalgia to go on, and I can look at the track objectively. And, well, truth be told, I don't see what's so special about it. While it's a serviceable cover of the track, it certainly pales in comparison with the quality of the other musical tracks in Adventure 2's album. While SA2's soundtrack took a rock and jazz inspired approach with most of its music, Green Hill was the odd one out with its synthetic instruments. I guess the synthesizers are meant to recreate the retro feel of the original somehow, but I don't know, it doesn't really get that effect on me. It kinda sounds generic, honestly. However, that is just my opinion, and I couldn't deny the nostalgic value this version of the track has with the fanbase, so it still had to make it into this list, even if it was this low. And for all intents and purposes, there is some special aspect to it, as it was the first time in years Green Hill's theme had been brought back and remixed for a current game, in 3D no less. A practice of which has been done several times in the future, for better or for worse. Anyway, I've rambled long enough. Regardless of my harsh opinions on this track though, it holds a special place in many hearts for the long-time adventure fans that have stuck with the Blue Blur this far. Number 8. Green Hill Act 2, remixed by Jarel Jones. While there has been some official Act 2 versions of Green Hill, Jarel Jones's interpretation is definitely one of my personal favorites. It reimagines Green Hill in a good future vibe from Sonic CD, a very laid-back melody that feels like it played right after defeating the boss as you wander around a green paradise. It's so calming that on the first listen it doesn't even sound like Green Hill, until the crafty melody of the original tune starts to seep itself in near the end, tying it all together perfectly. There's certainly a whimsical aspect to this version that I enjoy, and the CD instruments done by YouTuber Turret3471 add to it immensely. The Sega Genesis rendition by YouTuber Usaboy is another great one too, giving it an authentic old school vibe with those Sonic 2 Genesis trumpets we all love. This is a rather underrated version of the song that I think you guys should check out. Number 7. Green Hill, Will Rock Remix. Okay, now this one is an oldie but another good old favorite for many. This remix was released back in 2007, at a time where Sonic's reputation was in jeopardy, with 06 still fresh in everyone's mind. So as a young Sonic fan, this was a nice consolation and reminder of the good old times the original games offered. At the same time, it was probably one of the few and only good Green Hill remixes out there at the moment. You know, YouTube was still rather young after all. While it is another remix using synthesizers, it does enough new things with the melody to make it its own thing. Plus, some of the synthesizers are actually rather a pleasure to listen to, giving it a bit of a timeless feel. I know for a fact that a lot of us remember this old track from back in the day, as it was the most popular when it came out. There's a lot of nostalgic value to it, and it's nice to listen back every once in a while. Number 6. Green Hill Rogue Remix. Green Hill with dubstep. The results just speaks for themselves, and it's awesome! I mean, if you really want to jam out to your favorite first level in Sonic 1, Rogue's remix is the way to go. He takes the already catchy theme and adds electronic percussions and beats along with dubstep sections to turn Green Hill into one hell of a rave party. Probably the best dubstep cover of Green Hill you'll ever find. Oh, and that piano solo in the middle is just, nice. Seriously, I play this at any of my future birthday parties just to see how long my friends will take to realize it's actually from a Sonic game. Number 5. Green Hill Reimagined by T. Lopes. Before he was making music for Sonic Mania, T. Lopes was known in the community for his awesome Sonic remixes on YouTube. One of his earliest remixes of Green Hill, of the many he's made, always stuck with me because of how much fun he had rocking out with that electric guitar solo. It was definitely one of the first few pieces of work that demonstrated what T. Lopes could really do when he added his own personal touch to pre-existing melodies, to which he's only improved in the following years. I also like the nice little build-up he adds halfway through the tune that crescendos into a flurry of synths played wonderfully in what I presume is his studio piano. If not, then that's some impressive mouse work at hand. One of his first few ones, but definitely one of his best. Number 4. Green Hill Zone Modern. Sonic Generations brought us a whirlwind of remixes for many of Sonic's best levels in his career in the style of classic Sonic and modern. The classic tunes were either remastered versions of the original 16-bit tracks with some electronic music influenced by a certain retro style. Modern, on the other hand, had electric guitars and drum beats for an old-school rock feel, courtesy of Senoue, whatever, this dude. And hearing him rock out to Green Hill is so good, seriously. The fast version that even plays when you boost has extra drum patterns later on top of the track to give it more of an intense feeling of speed, which is really cool. It really encompasses everything that modern Sonic's personality represents. From the fast bass tempo, the laid-back and fun tone, to the rhythmic guitars, this remix is a definite contrast to Green Hill's spirited inflections that further distinguishes how Sonic has evolved as a character over the years. Number 3. Green Hill Zone Sonic Utopia. Now this is a surprising interpretation of Green Hill that I haven't heard before, and while I do have some opinions about it, I believe YouTuber Porifera Thief pretty much stole all the words from my mouth with his insightful comment by saying, "The track sounds happy, free-spirited, excited, and lonely at the same time. Whatever the leading instrument is, it gives off this tone of being happy in solitude, but not forgetting exactly what solitude is. The drum line isn't overbearing, so it leaves only a small impact and lets the softer instruments make the most of the music. The soft instruments make up the happy and free-spirited tones. Because of this careful mix of music, it does express what I think is Sonic's mentality. Free, a little melancholic, but all as well eager to get out there. It gets you in the mood of playing as Sonic in a new place. I'm sure he would be as excited as we are to check every corner of the game. And this music does so good in giving us that final push into common ground if you weren't on Sonic's wavelength already." Well, damn, preach dude, I couldn't have said it better myself. There is definitely an enchanting atmosphere to this remix, and it fits rather well with an open environment like Utopia's Green Hill. I also appreciate the little bits of Sonic 1's ending theme sprinkled in, giving the remix a nice unique touch. It's a type of remix that makes you relax and want to explore. Number 2. Green Hill Zone Act 2 Sonic Mania. T. Lopes is at it again with his official Act 2 remix in Sonic Mania. Kinda like Jarel Jones's version, T. Lopes takes a more good future Sonic CD inspiration for Act 2. However, unlike Jarel's mellow mix where it feels like it would play after the action was over, T. Lopes keeps the action going in the moment with an addictive and energetic theme. He doesn't deviate too far from the original composition, as instead he amplifies it with better instrumentation and subtle key changes in certain areas of the track, giving it a different, more positive aura from before. I also admire some of the tropical influences from Palm Tree Panic presented throughout the track, topping off the CD influences Mania has as a whole. This is a prime example of how no matter how many remixes or versions there can be of a song, a great artist always finds a way to make them fresh and new. And the number 1 Green Hill Zone remix is Green Hill Zone Classic from Sonic Generations. And this brings us to number 1, what I consider to be the last and best Green Hill remix. I actually have a personal story regarding this track. You see, 7 years ago, when Generations was being teased, I remember being in high school watching the very first gameplay footage for Classic Sonic. And as soon as the video started, and I heard this music playing, I was in tears. Seriously, I was trying so hard to hide my emotions from everyone that one of the teachers even came up to me and asked me if I was okay. This was the first time in years that I'd seen Classic Sonic or heard Green Hill remastered in such a considerate way. So, I mean, you can't really blame me for getting overly emotional, man. See, what makes this remix so special and different from the others is that it knows how to capture the nostalgic quality and spirit of the original. It doesn't try to change the tone of the original, neither do the new synth tracks drown the main melody, but rather it complements it to greater effect by making it feel bigger and uplifting. The bass and percussion are different, being simplified from 4 beats per second to only 2, making the track calmer and less urgent. This careful remaster of the theme does more than make it sound like a better version of the original, but more like a triumphant comeback from a place you remember long ago. With that, I can safely say that it's my number 1 Green Hill remix, and I've replayed it more times than I can count. So tell me, do you agree with this list? Do you disagree? Do you have any other versions of Green Hill that you think I should have included in this list? Or maybe you have your own top 10 Green Hill remixes you want to share. In that case, post them in the comment section below to let me know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Give a like if you enjoyed what you saw, and I'll see you next time.